Chris, MVP candidate Tiki Barber leads the offense, one of the two veterans who hopes to give New York reason to cheer at the end of the year.
New York City is the toughest city in the world. They say if you make it here, you can make it anywhere. Everybody in New York has an opinion.
The clock's ticking on this one, Tiki.
People around here are used to winners.
Show me that you're better than we can.
So the pressure to perform it's high.
Hey, you got enough left in the tank, big guy? Because you didn't need it. I want the division title.
Making it to the playoffs is not good enough. Backing in, it's not good enough at all.
Don't let me down.
The only way to succeed in the postseason is if you go in confident.
If you finish the season on a high note, you win.
Guys, this might be our last opportunity.
I'm too old to lose. Don't have too many more chances.
I know that at age 30, sooner or later, I'm going to hit that downside of my career.
For a lot of us, there is no next year. This is the year.
Black hole. That's where we'll be if we don't win this.
Playing in a black hole, you can't pick a crazier scenario to put us in. But I'm glad we're going through it because, if anything, it only prepares to be better in the future.
And tonight, those veterans lead their Giant team knowing the very simple story: win tonight, and for the first time in 5 years, the Giants and Michael Strahan will wear the title of champions of the NFC East. Welcome to the final football game of 2005. Mike Tirico and my buddy Sterling Sharp. Sam Ryan will join us momentarily. You know the scenario. Giants got in by virtue of the loss last week by Minnesota, but they are not satisfied with just being in the playoffs. They want to be the East champs. So Sterling, they play tonight for the title of division champ, for home field next week when the playoffs open, but also I think more importantly, they play for momentum here this evening.
Mike, you're exactly right. And when you talk to the New York Giants, they talk about wanting to get off to a fast start. They respect the talent of the Oakland Raiders, and they know they want to go out and ruin the confidence of these guys and make them quit early. So that means they got to put the game on the two defensive ends for the New York Giants, Michael Strahan and O.C. Umenyiora. They understand that in order to keep Randy Moss and Jerry Porter out of the end zone, they have to attack Kerry Collins.
Kerry Collins, their old teammate, a guy many of these guys know very well. Kerry Collins, it has not gone as well as it did in New York since coming here to Oakland. 5 wins last year, this team, a 4-win disappointment here in 2005. Kerry Collins went to New York and turned around all the stereotypes. He stabilized his life in New York, and he thrived in the position as Giants quarterback. What do you think what will happen tonight? Because this one means a lot more to Kerry Collins.
And I think Kerry Collins will approach this football game like the game is on him. That means he has to be accurate. That means he has to get the football out of his hands. He has to get his football team out of bad plays. He knows that Randy Moss and Jerry Porter have had down years. And I think without Lamont Jordan in his lineup, they will throw the football around in this stadium a lot tonight, Mike.
Kerry has remained friends with several of the Giants, including his former teammate Tiki Barber, the leader in yards from scrimmage of the National Football League. We'll be watching Tiki and the rest of the players via the Visa Skycam, providing these unique and memorable images from angles no other single camera in the world can achieve. We're excited to bring it to you on New Year's Eve for New York and Oakland. Speaking of Tiki Barber, how does he get older and get better? Sam Ryan tells us about that when we come back on a soggy night in Oakland.
Well, you don't know what the...
And Oakland, where the game is always on and the Bud Light is just right.
Welcome back to McAfee Coliseum on New Year's Eve. Tiki Barber remembers the last time the Giants won the NFC East, 2000. They later went on to play in the Super Bowl. Tiki was part of that team. Now, 5 years later, Tiki is 30 years old and having a career year, an MVP-like year. He is second in the NFL in rushing behind Seattle's Sean Alexander. I asked Tiki, what's the difference for him? He told me he used to be a third down back, but now he said the main reason why he's peaking late, he has a better understanding of the game.
I kind of figured it out. It took me a while to figure out the game. Not only the physical part, you know, staying in shape and getting stronger and body maintenance, but just the mechanics and the physics and the X's and O's of the game. It takes a while to get it and to understand it and understand the importance of every play. And I've started to do that, and luckily I've done it before my body broke down on me.
Tiki told me body maintenance is key. He's got an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, and a masseuse. He said the guys who stay healthy this late in the season are the ones who are the strongest. It's the Giants and the Raiders. We will have the kickoff when we come back.
That was your car. Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Giants 10-5, Raiders 4-11. Oakland, not much to play for. Don't tell that to Randy Moss.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, this is my last game, man, of the NFL season. I'm gonna try to give you a little something, man. Stay tuned, baby. Let's everybody put aside our differences and let's come out here for 3 hours, 3.5, and let's send it back to the East Coast. Raiders on 3, 1, 2, 3. Raiders!
Well, that means there are differences, I guess.
There are definitely differences, Mike.
Wow. Randy Moss can get to 97 touchdowns with a catch tonight. He'd be 100 still behind the all-time leader, Jerry Rice. It's been an injury-plagued second half of the season for Moss, so his production has been down. But Raiders won the toss. They will receive of 2005. Carr from the 7. Footing will be sloppy, but nice running by Carr to take it out to the 37-yard line. Will Allen, the corner for the Giants, made the tackle. Here come the Oakland Raiders on offense. Up front, it has been a stabilizing year for the second-year pro, who was the #2 overall pick when Eli Manning was drafted, Robert Gallery. As for the receivers, there is Moss along with Jerry Porter. Randy, 6 touchdowns, 53 receptions. Usually, you see more numbers from Randy this point in the year. Zach Crockett gets the start for the second straight game because Lamont Jordan, who had a 1,000-yard season, is out for the second straight game with turf toe. Opening drive starts from the 38, and the former Giant Collins to work right away. Completes it to Jerry Porter to midfield for a first down into Giant territory at the 49. Let's check out the Giants, decimated at the linebacking core, not up front when they have 2 Pro Bowl defensive ends in Osi Umenyiora, 12.5 sacks, Michael Strahan, 11.5 on the season. The linebacking core, Kevin Lewis was signed on December 26th. He starts on December 31st. Change at one corner, Corey Webster starts for Chris DeLoach, who because of his poor play has been benched. Flag down on 1st and 10, no play as Collins went to Moss. And the 2 most penalized teams in the NFL.
False start, number 76, offense, 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Figured to keep Pete Morelli, our referee, busy. Robert Gallery flag there. Sterling, I was very intrigued when we sat with Kerry Collins 2 days ago, and he said, you know, no sugarcoating it. This means more to me because it's my old team.
And, Mike, you have to understand that in a big game like this against your old team, you want to play well. And I like Norv Turner's decision to put the football in Kerry Collins' hands to move this ball down the field.
Tom Coughlin sending his Giants cross country for the 4th time this year. Collins trying to set up the screen. It was covered, so he gets outside the tackle box and throws it away. Incomplete. Fred Robbins was pushing from the middle. Well, you hear the boos and the frustration. Kerry Collins is 7-20 as the Raiders starter. He has thrown for 8th in the NFL at 3,400 yards. A lot of passing attempts to get there, Sterling, most in the AFC.
And you would think that their numbers would be higher because they wanted to be a vertical passing team. And this is a team that searched for an identity throughout the 2005 season. And, Mike, we see them in the last game in 2005, and they don't know who they are, running team or passing team.
2nd and 15. First carry for Crockett. Certainly a pounder between the tackles type runner. He's going to lose a yard or two. Good surge by the Giants. Michael Strahan leading the path to the running back. You mentioned Norv Turner in his 2nd season. Very disappointing. The team holds the option on the contract for 2006. Although Norv has remained upbeat and positive, candidly, it is hard to find anyone around who thinks that Norv Turner will still be the Raiders head coach come next week.
And I think including Norv Turner to be hard-pressed to be around here because of, you know, he came in as an offensive genius throwing the football and just has not gotten it done in 2005.
Loss of 2, 3rd and 17. Collins gets some time, comes underneath, but nowhere to go for Porter. Nick Greisen, who was going to be the starting middle linebacker until all the injuries piled up, starts on the weak side tonight, makes the tackle, and after 1 first down, the Raiders are forced to punt it away. So Randy Moss was ready and fired up, thrown to once, but a flag negated that. And Shane Leckler, who's been the NFL's best average punter the last couple of years, unless he has an awesome, awesome night tonight, likely to lose that title to Brian Mormon of Buffalo. Trying to pin the Giants inside the 10-yard line. No fair catch. Chad Morton in some trouble, and Schweigert hit him, and he's escorted out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Another Jared Cooper down there on coverage for the Raiders. So here comes Eli Manning leading this Giant offense. As for the guys up front, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was moving everybody around. David Deal has been one of the consistent in their every game performers for Big Blue up front. Plexico Burris hasn't seen the ball as much lately. There's no Jeremy Shockey at tight end. Vasante Shenko will be there. With Tiki Barber and the fullback Jim Finn, Eli Manning turns 25 on Tuesday, making his 23rd NFL start. His record's 11-11. And he gets his first welcome to a less than half full, but still loud black hole. Barber, first carry, takes it out close to the 12-yard line. Danny Clark and Kirk Morrison on the stop for a Raider defense that did improve this year. One guy, Derek Burgess, free agent from Philadelphia, leading the National Football League in sacks, going to the Pro Bowl. Danny Clark, 6th-year man out of Illinois, was drafted by Tom Coughlin. He goes up against his old coach here tonight. Morrison and Tyler Brayton on the outside. Fabian Washington on one corner. Stuart Schweigert and Jared Cooper, the safety. Schweigert has 2 of the Raiders' minuscule interception total. They've only picked 5 all year. Complete to Plexico Burris, who had the first down and will stay with it at the 18-yard line, tackled by Danny Clark. Sterling, how big is tonight for Eli Manning?
I think this needs to be a breakout game for Eli Manning, Mike. When you look at what he has gone through this season, 52% complete for a football team that runs the ball as well as the Giants do. Even Tom Coughlin said just the other night that he needs to be a lot more accurate, and it's all technical. He's reading his way out of trouble, but he needs to get off his back foot when he throws the football.
53%, not satisfactory for Coughlin. Example there as that pass gets batted down. Tommy Kelly, 2nd-year man out of Mississippi State, busting through the middle for the Raiders.
Trying to get the easy completion for Eli, Mike, and he talked about it the other night. You know, give me enough plays early in the football game to get his confidence up, get the confidence up of the receivers. But it seems to me that the Giants definitely want to start with Tiki Barber running the football and throwing the football to Plexico Burris.
There you see the flop in the numbers. More interceptions here in the second half of the season, and the importance of the game and the knowledge of the other defense about you increases.
That's true.
Here is Barber up the middle. Schweigert comes in from his safety spot to knock him down. Chris Snee was pulling, leading the way for the Giant back, and a 6-yard gain. 3rd and 4 coming up. Sterling, it is so interesting to watch a player develop and grow as a star running back in the NFL at age 30. And that's what Barber has done this year.
A guy who had that come to him, Mike. He was definitely prepared to be the featured guy. Does an outstanding job of handling the workload. Outstanding body, outstanding running, lean. He does it all very, very well.
Third and a long 3. Amani Toomer from the Bay Area was in motion, and a penalty marker down. So this play will come back. Team record flags for the Giants this year.
Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, third down.
Well, Tom Coughlin has seen false start number 77, Luke Pettigrew, enough this year.
Luke seems to be the guy that wants to get going very, very early, whether it's at home or on the road. And just like the Oakland Raiders, they do one positive thing and have another thing set them back. They had a 3rd and 2. Now they got 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 8 coming up. It's something that has plagued this football team all season long.
Luke was flagged 5 times. That trip out to Seattle, the Giants' overtime loss on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Looked like he moved again, not called. Manning throwing for Toomer, and he can't haul it in. We'll have 4th down. Stanford Rout, part of a very young secondary for the Raiders, was there in coverage, and the Giants will be forced to kick it away. This is consecutive game 289 for Jeff Beagles, the all-time National Football League leader, as you see in those categories. Trails Sean Landeta by 858 yards for the most punting yards in the history of the league.
He may get that tonight.
No, it's not going to be. 48 yards there. Carr takes at the 32. And a 9-yard return to the 41, brought down by Justin Tuck, the rookie defensive lineman for the Giants. Well, Randy Moss said he was ready. Let's give him a show. We'll see what he does on the Raiders' second drive in a minute.
The IRL IndyCar Series, the top open-wheel racing, thrills rabid racing fans around the world on ESPN. The eyes of IRL racing fans were focused on the Michigan International Speedway for the Michigan 400. In a tough race, not all the cars that started finished. Danica Patrick had her hopes dashed. And at the end, veteran Canadian driver Brian Herter had his first win of the season. ESPN, the home of the IRL IndyCar Series.
Well, points have been hard to find for the Raiders here over the last few games. No touchdowns last 15 possessions, only 30 points, and 3 touchdowns in the last 4 Raider games. That's why you're 4-11. From the 41, Crockett up the middle. He'll get across the 45-yard line. Brent Alexander from his free safety spot joined Fred Robbins in the defensive middle on the tackle. Sterling, there has not been a lot of Randy Moss. There hasn't been a lot of other players involved lately. What's wrong with the Raider offense right now?
No setup, Mike. And they came out, they wanted to, in the first series, they wanted to throw it around. They didn't get anything done. They look like they want to come out now to run the football, to establish a play-action pass game. Just no setup.
See Moss, rare to see him below the 20s in the rankings in the NFL. They pound Crockett for a couple of yards. Kevin Lewis with the hit. He started at the middle backer for the Giants every game last year. Did not play this year. He's been out. It was cut in September when Chase Blackburn came in and beat him out for the job. So here we are, week 17 of the season, final game. Lewis gets the call on December 26th, less than a week ago, to come in, return to the Giants. He knows the system, and here he is
making the play.
6 days later, starting at middle backer, making a tackle. Third and a long 4. Collins just put it up for grabs, and it's incomplete. O.C. Umenyiora came in with some heat. Pass was in the general area of Randall Williams, but it is a 3-and-out for the Raiders.
Mike, if you get O.C. Umenyiora and Michael Strahan's in one-on-one situations like that right there with Zach Crockett diving at his knees, they will win in one-on-one situations. They do an excellent job of complementing each other. O.C. said he's the speed and Michael Strahan's the power, and Mike begged to differ, but they complement each other extremely well.
Another Shane Leckler punt. See if Morton Fair catches it this time. He does. A wobbler, tougher to catch, and it's brought in by Morton at the 9. 44-yard punt for field position. See if Barber can give the Giants some breathing room.
I have to show you a big bluff today. Very big.
I'm all in.
One thing you need before you're going to pull off a bluff is actually a horrible hand.
I'm all in, that's all I'm telling you.
The hard thing to do to sit there with absolutely nothing in your hand and put literally every single chip that you have to the test.
You really need to just convince yourself that you have it.
I can't call it. Nice hand.
I was on the draw.
Okay, so tips that someone might be bluffing.
You say something funny and the guy kind of goes,
When they put the chips in and then afraid to look at you and look some other way.
The other one is their neck. You can sort of, sense breathing patterns and, based on somebody's breathing.
Clock is 8.
Chances are he's bluffing.
Good bluff.
This ESPN NFL special brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Singular, raising the bar. GMC trucks and SUVs. We are professional grade. And Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste plus nothing.
That is downtown at Ricky's, the recognized home of Raider Nation. Raider Nation not watching the game on TV. It is blacked out, not a sellout here tonight. And then the weather, and that is very tame compared to what it was 24 hours ago here in the East Bay and all of the Bay Area. Just awful weather. Mudslides, flooding, Napa, the rivers, the Raisin River, the Napa River have overflowed their banks. Just a terrible day out here in the Bay Area. On first down, Manning throws complete. Plexico Burris loses it, and it is ruled incomplete on the field. Schweigert has picked it up and is running, but it has been ruled on the field as an incomplete forward pass.
Mike, it's one of those patterns that, watching those guys, Eli and Plex, early on in the game, does an outstanding job for a big guy getting his shoulders over his feet, not a slip right there, but does a great job of trying to run back downhill. He just couldn't secure it. Nnamdi Asomugha did a great job of getting it out. But a big guy like Plex that can play small, will play a long time in the National Football League, Mike, can put up huge numbers.
Did you think he had control of that until he came down to the ground?
That was really close, wasn't it?
Giants have started inside their own 10. Both possessions and a penalty marker thrown. So the Raider fans who are in largest attendance tonight are making noise at this end.
Number 82, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
Sam, it was tough for a lot of people to get here and tough for the Giants today as well.
Yeah, because of the weather, Mike, you're talking about that. A minor inconvenience, they were calling it. Their hotel lost power. Now, sporadically through the overnight, but by 5 a.m., it was completely out. Jay Feely told me they had generators for the meeting rooms, but not for the guest rooms. So what they had to do, they had to line the hallways with glow sticks. The team was able to hold its meeting and have its meals, but Feely told me this was good for camaraderie. The guys all huddled together and played their PSPs all day today.
Minor inconvenience. After the 5-yard penalty, Barber breaks to the second level and beyond. Tiki Barber down the sideline, getting a block downfield, and another one from Burris, and Barber will take it the distance. 95-yard Giant touchdown.
Wow.
Plexico Burris and Sean O'Hara worked all the way, and Barber takes it for one of the longest touchdowns in Giant history.
Mike, we talk about a return guy, and look at the patience that he has, and watch him set up these blocks. He sets up Plexico Burris right there to get the last little push, and then he finishes the route. Outstanding patience, outstanding play call, and ladies and gentlemen, that would almost send the Raiders packing.
No, not yet. It is the longest run from scrimmage in the wonderful history of one of the flagship franchises of the NFL, and only appropriate, as Feely adds the extra point, that Barber sets the record for most rushing touchdowns by a New York Giant, doing it with the longest run in Giant history, officially credited at 95 yards. He broke a 75-year team record held by Hat Moran back in November of 1930 with that touchdown.
The
the finest figure skaters from around the globe compete. From Tokyo, Japan, ESPN brings you the culmination of the Grand Prix season, the ISU Grand Prix Finals, Tuesday on ESPN.
Hello from the ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass studio. The three of us would like to wish you all the very best for the forthcoming festive season.
Happy holidays from all of us here on ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass.
I hope your team bulges the old onion bag over the holiday period. Happy holidays, folks.
And in the meantime, we'll do our best not to get into any more arguments. Cheers.
Well, on this New Year's Eve, I'm sure Giants fans who are gathered in Times Square had reason to cheer. Stuart Scott will be right there in Times Square at the Hard Rock Cafe. The New York Dolls, the Trogs, among the musical acts. ESPN's New Year's Eve special follows our game tonight. Phillies kickoff is short. Carr slips at the 30. Chris lost the football. The Giants think they have it. Boy, this could go from bad to really bad for the Raiders.
And it would work out perfectly for the New York Giants because this is exactly what they wanted to do.
And they have come up with the recovery. Giants have it. Jay Feely, the kicker, was in there. Eric Moore was on the bottom of the pile for the recovery. And the Giants get the ball right back. Corey Webster, hand on the ball, rips it. Was it coming out before he hit the ground? Giants can take over a great field position.
The IRL IndyCar Series. In round one in Miami, Dan Weldon notched victory #1. Sam Hornish Jr. was on top in Phoenix. Dan Weldon won the first IRL street course at St. Petersburg and won again in Japan at Twin Motegi, and for the 4th time in 5 races, the Indy 500. South African Thomas Schechter won in Texas. Elio Castroneves finished in front in Richmond, and Tony Kanaan in Kansas. And in round 9, Dario Franchitti made some sweet music in Nashville. ESPN, the home of the IRL IndyCar Series.
Okay, we're back. The Raiders have challenged the ruling on the field that it's a fumble and a Giants recovery. Let's watch as the Giants' Corey Webster tries to pull it out from the Raider kick returner, Chris Carr.
Does a great job of hanging on to it right there, but I don't think it's coming out, Mike.
When his bottom hit the turf, was the ball still in his control?
That would be a yes. Raiders ball, and they need it.
Well, we've got both offenses on the field right now. It's supreme confidence.
We had former Giants, Ron Stone and Kerry Collins, talking things over with Plex and Tiki Barber. This would be a disaster if the Raiders don't get the football.
Just thinking the same thing. Raiders would be in a heap of trouble. Carr fumbled last week at the start of the second half in the Raiders' loss at Denver. Oakland could not get any momentum going, had a good drive at the end of the half. Kerry Collins was picked off in the end zone. Half came to an end, and then the Raiders got the ball to start the third, so anything they may have built on coming out of the locker room was pulled from the plug right away when Carr fumbled on the very first play of the third quarter.
It was interesting talking to Michael Strahan about what they wanted to accomplish coming out here, and jumping on the Oakland Raiders early was one of the key things that I think the football team talked about back in New York, and they brought that message out here, and this would be huge for the Giants. Momentum would definitely be on their side, and disastrous for the Raiders, but I think the Raiders keep this football.
Yeah, I think so, and then it would be Raider ball at about the 33.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down by contact. It will be Oakland's ball first down. The ball will be placed at the 33-yard line. Oakland will not be charged a timeout.
I think that's the correct call, so the Raiders avoid giving the Giants the ball right back, and let's not let Barber's run go away. The franchise record 95-yard run by Tiki Barber. He already, Sterling, has 107 yards. He came in 150 yards behind.
I think Sean Alexander's asleep, Mike. He's not even watching this game. He's not paying attention to this.
Seattle's Sean Alexander, who, of course, last year was edged out by 1 yard for the rushing title. So the Raiders back on the field on offense. This drive starts from their own 33. Collins down the middle, incomplete for Jerry Porter. SportsCenter 30 at 30. Chris Berman.
All right, Mike, thank you. Down the coast from you in San Diego. Denver, quote, having nothing to play for. Well, Tatum Bell 3 times in the end zone. John Lynch, a great game in his hometown of San Diego. The Broncos beat the Chargers 23-7. On his 21st birthday, LeBron James, 30 points. Cleveland hands the Pistons only their 4th loss all year, 97-84. More on that Broncos-Chargers game, the playoff situation. Happy New Year, fellas.
You too, Swa. 2nd and 10. Collins throws the deep out complete. Randy Moss pulls it in, 3 yards shy of the first down at the 40. In front of Corey Webster, the Giants' corners were beat up last week, especially the other corner, Will Allen, by Santana Moss and the Redskins.
And they are well prepped, Mike, not letting Randy Moss, who everybody knows can run. I mean, he is backpedaling with the intentions on getting to the goal line. Randy does a good job of dropping weight, coming back with a catch. Got short yardage for 3rd down.
Moss's first catch of the night, 54th on the season, sets up 3rd and 3. And Collins back to the air, and Porter has a first down. Going to be some very nice cushions for the Raider receivers. So Oakland's passing game might need some patience tonight to set up their deep ball.
Well, I think the thing is those guys definitely, you see Jerry Porter coming in motion right here. A bailout guy. He's running a little stop route, got the first down. Did a great job. And the reason, if you have completions on the other end, somebody up front is doing a good job on Strahan and Umanura. And right here, we got a great block by the tackle.
By Chad Slaughter, who's over there at right tackle. Robert Gallery had the penalty earlier, is out. Crockett runs inside for very little. So Slaughter, the former Jet, is in as Gallery is out. And here's Sam Ryan again.
Yeah, Robert Gallery was taken to the locker room, Mike, and Sterling. He has a right leg injury, they're calling it. They said observation. They're looking at it. His return is questionable.
All right, Gallery, the number 2 overall pick in the draft 2 years ago when Eli Manning was the number 1 overall selection. He, thought everybody said he'll be a left tackle for years and years in the league. He's been over at right tackle, hasn't been able to go over to the left. Barry Sims has had that locked down.
Done a fine job over there, Mike.
2nd and 10. Collins goes right back to it and completes it to Doug Gabriel. First down in front of Chris DeLoach, the former starter who was benched for Corey Webster. A gain of 12 and a Raider first down.
I really like to throw. I like Kerry Collins going back foot hits, ball comes out. He has his focus, Mike. He's not forcing the football. Look at a tight spiral. Gave Doug Gabriel an opportunity to catch it and get the necessary yards for the first down. He is going to have to exude patience throughout the night for the Raiders to have success.
Gabriel, 30 catches on the year. His career high was last year, 33. Emerging 3rd-year player out of Central Florida. Giants look to be offside as Collins tried to throw, and his arm was hit as he came forward. Incomplete.
I think O.C. Umanura was just a wee bit early on that one.
Offside, number 72. Defense, 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
The 12.5 sack man who has the 6-year, $41 million contract extension with that terrific play this year.
And he's just setting Barry Sims up with the speed, Mike. He's setting him up. You can see it happening. Jumped off the line of scrimmage right there. And a very good technician at the defensive end spot. Does a real good job of showing speed, showing power, will come inside. And that's something for a young guy to be able to do that. He can play a lot of years in the National Football League.
Good set of downs for calling plays. 1st and 5. It is Crockett working off the block of New York native John Paul Foshee, the fullback, and he only gains 2 yards to the 29. Without Lamont Jordan, again missing his 2nd game because of the turf toe injury. Started 14 games, ran for 1,025 yards. What does that absence do to the Raider offense?
The ability to cut plays back, the ability to do what Tiki Barber just did for the New York Giants. Zach Crockett is a banger, loves to get up inside, and without Lamont Jordan, what you're going to get is if you call a play for 3 yards, with Zach, you're probably going to get 3 yards.
Justin Fargas has come into the lineup. He'll give you a little more speed. Almost lost the ball and is lucky to get back near the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Kendrick Allen up front. Well, Lamont Jordan came over from the Jets. He was Curtis Martin's backup. Let him get a breather guy.
Don't say backup, say understudy. Why? Yeah, it just sounds a lot better for Lamont, you know, being injured and all.
Came here and was very excited about doing what so many backs have done under Norv Turner.
Yes.
Thrive. Turner is known for the passing game, but you go back over history, it's been well documented. So many good running backs like Emmitt Smith. Production in both the running and passing game, and he had it in 14 games this year. Collins has hit his last 3. Can he hit a third down here? It's late, but it's caught by Porter to the 15-yard line. First down.
He's in his zone, Mike. He's headed to that zone. Kerry Collins is not forcing the football. I mean, this is a great throw. Outstanding coverage. Great coverage, but you can't throw it any better than that. Only his receiver can catch it. Jerry Porter catches it in his hands, and Kerry Collins is feeling it right now. He is very relaxed. If you're in Strahan and that defense can't get to him, this could be a very interesting ball game because I like what the Oakland Raiders are doing, not bowing to that 95-yard run of Tiki Barber.
And a great challenge, obviously, by Norv Turner as the momentum has switched. 1st and 10. Collins throws for Moss in the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders.
The old double post route, Mike. The old double post route. Get a guy an opportunity to free release, little shake move, double post route, got a receiver clearing. Randy Moss in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Kerry Collins is feeling it right now. The wide receivers are excited. Wow, the Giants got their hands full. You know what? I was ready for the Raiders to pack their stuff up and go home.
Oh, they're back now?
They're back now.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just gone for a second. They're back now.
Sebastian Janikowski, who has struggled with field goals this year, bangs through the extra point. Nice job with the hold by the punter, Shane Leckler. So Collins' buddy, Tiki Barber, sets a Giant franchise record going 95 yards. Looked like they were going to lose a fumble, but the challenge gets the ball back for the Raiders. Collins hit all 5 on the drive. 15 yards to Randy Moss. Game squared at 7.
During this holiday season, I challenge you to sit down and think about all the many things you have to be thankful for. It's probably more than you realize. Happy holidays.